Hello everyone. In this presentation, I'm going to share findings from my study titled Unethical Leadership is Not a Solo Act. We often blame unethical leadership purely on the leader, but this research shows that the story is more complex. Leadership happens in relationships, and followers play an important role in how unethical practices emerge and continue. And most discussions about unethical leadership focus on leaders' personalities or moral failures. But leadership is not something leaders do alone. It is shaped by daily interactions with followers. In environments where accountability systems are weak, unethical practices can slowly become normal. And what's missing in previous research, especially in the context of Algeria, is a deep understanding of how followers contribute to this process. Uh, in Algerian state-owned companies, unethical leadership has caused serious organizational and social damage. However, research still tends to focus mainly on leaders themselves. And as a matter of fact, there is a serious lack of research on the dark side of leadership in Algeria. And we know much less about how followers may enable or tolerate unethical behavior. And without understanding these relationship dynamics, attempts to fight unethical leadership may only treat surface level issues. So this study shifts the lens. Instead of seeing unethical leadership as a solo act, it explores it as something socially constructed between leaders and followers. In simple terms, what the study wanted to do is to understand not only what leaders do, but how followers respond, adapt, and sometimes unknowingly contribute to unethical practices through their interactions with leaders. The study is an exploratory qualitative study conducted on Algerian public sector organizations. Uh, we use purposive sampling to select experienced leaders, including CEOs, directors, and department heads from different companies or different state-owned companies. For the analysis, we used thematic analysis following Brown and Clark's approach, and the whole process was facilitated using Atlas TI software. Jumping into the findings or the results, the findings clearly show that unethical leadership is strongly linked to followership dynamics. Three main and interconnected themes emerged: passive followership, complicit followership, and deviant role modeling. Together, these explain how unethical leadership becomes normalized rather than challenged. Uh, the first theme, which is passive followership, many followers responded to unethical behavior with silence or avoidance. Some complied without questioning, and others choose not to respond or to report misconduct. This absence of moral voice reduced accountability. Leaders faced little resistance from followers, which made it easier for unethical practices to continue. The second theme is complicit followership. Here, some followers didn't just stay silent, they adopted similar unethical values. Unethical decisions were justified as necessary or simply how things are done. Over time, the ethical climate shifted from resistance to tolerance and eventually to active participation. The third theme is deviant role modeling. Leaders' unethical actions sent strong signals to followers. When employees saw leaders benefiting from misconduct and facing no consequences, they learned that unethical behavior could be a strategy for survival or success. To summarize the findings, unethical leadership was sustained through three processes: silence and disengagement, shared ethical values, and learning through negative examples. These processes reinforce each other, creating a cycle where unethical behavior becomes embedded in every day. Thank you so much.